Journaling is one of the most basic but most important habits that I have done in my self-improvement journey. I'm going to be going over 3 different types of journaling methods that I believe will help you the most. So we're going to start with gratitude journaling. Before we get into the framework, it's important to know what gratitude means. Gratitude means that you are ready to show appreciation for something and then give kindness. And that will be important later. So it's important that we know why we are doing gratitude journaling before we start. Gratitude journaling for me has helped me get a positive mindset, reduce negative thoughts, and just be appreciative of the things I have around me. And so to start gratitude journaling, it's one of the most quick and easy journaling methods that I'm going to tell you. So you're going to write down 5 things you're grateful for. For example, I'm grateful for my family, my dog, my safe neighborhood, my friends, the computer I work on, the phone I get to record videos on. I'm grateful that I have a desk to work on. See, when it comes to gratitude journaling, it's being appreciative about the small things. So you could look around your room, around your house, and just be grateful for the majority of things. But if you still struggle to, be grateful for something, I want you to think in 5 years, what is something that you might regret not being grateful for? For example, your grandma or mom. Say your grandma lives far away. You don't want to regret not calling her and then, you find out she has a bad disease or, she passes away. Or you don't want to regret not hugging your mom enough. You don't want to regret, not enjoying your safe neighborhood because eventually when you say you leave your parents' house and you go move to an apartment and it's not as safe, now you're always worried. So once you've written down 5 things you're grateful for, it's time to take action. And if you do this every single day, you're going to see a lot more results than if you just wrote down 5 things you're grateful for. So what I mean by taking action is, for example, I write down my parents. So the action I take is I go give them a hug next time I see them. I write down safe neighborhood. So I will, on trash and recycle day, I will bring my trash in, and then I will bring my neighbor's trash and recycle in. So it goes back to that meaning of returning kindness. And I'll get texts later in the day saying, thank you so much for bringing our trash in. Just again, it's small things, but they have such a big impact on our lives. And I have seen so many positive moments come from just being grateful for things and then taking action and, returning the kindness. The first time I gave my mom a hug after being grateful, later in the day my dad comes home and we're all talking and she's like to my dad, guess what our son did? He's like, what? And she's like, he gave me a hug this morning. She waited all day to tell my dad that. And when she said it, she had such a big smile and she was happy. All because of a hug. Now imagine you go doing this all throughout your day. You do this for the people all around you. You do it for your family. Like, if your family cooks a meal, be like, thank you for cooking this meal. You don't even have to say it's good. You just be, thank you for cooking this meal. Because we often don't know when our last time having a home cooked meal will be. We don't know the last time you're going to be able to call your grandma. You don't know when the last time you're going to see your best friend. So why wait and regret, not calling your grandma when you could do it right now? So I don't want you to continue listening to the video. I want you to go right now and take action. The next journaling method is self-reflection journaling. Doing self reflection journaling, we're looking at our internal thoughts, emotions, and our values and seeing if they align with our external actions. Starting this journaling method off, it's important that you follow this framework. We're going to start with identifying the problem. So for me, that is, why am I not bulking? Oftentimes, there is a trigger that causes this problem. So when I am watching self improvement content, certain videos I see that you need to focus on your purpose. You need to work on one thing at a time, because if you focus on multiple things at a time, you will not be as successful in it compared to if you only focus on one. And then also that you need to sacrifice things in order to be successful. So I got in the mindset of, well, I can't bulk because I need to put all my time and effort into my purpose. But I really wanted to bulk. Next is you're going to write down the emotion. So when I don't bulk, I tend to find myself thinking that I make a lot of excuses, that I have a lot of limiting beliefs. And I tend to not really believe myself as much because every time I say I'm going to bulk, I don't do it. So it starts to fatigue me mentally a little bit. And going I want you to try and go in as deep as possible when you're doing this framework. And so like for me, I am thinking about my purpose. I'm thinking about bulking and I get overwhelmed even more. And this will cause another problem, which is I then avoid both my purpose and the idea of bulking, and I will do another bad habit and I will mindlessly scroll to not think of either. So now that you've kind of gone deep into that, I want you to ask yourself, do I want to continue this cycle for the rest of my life? And the answer is probably going to be no. So now it's time to take action. Even if it's a small step, taking action to solve this problem is going to improve you so much more than doing nothing. So for me, that was downloading MyFitnessPal and tracking everything I ate to the best of my ability. And then I also put in my habit tracker, try and eat 2,500 calories. I just did two small actions, but again, it's better than not doing anything. And you can do this framework for almost anything. But the deeper you go into doing this framework, the more return you'll get because, for example, like me, I started seeing multiple problems. And doing this framework will help you problem solve these problems. And so when you encounter another problem, you'll be able to resolve it faster. See, if you did this, you did this framework, you did this action, be proud of yourself. You've done something amazing. You finally took action to try and break this problem that you've been struggling with probably for a while, like I have with bulking. And so I don't want you to continue watching the video until you have done this framework, until you have taken action. Because I really believe that if you do this, it will help you. The third and last one of the journaling methods is deep journaling. Now, deep journaling doesn't have like a meaning of its own, but it can be some to the understanding of our thoughts, emotions, the hidden thoughts or emotions, or even the thoughts that we are trying to run away from. And we do deep journaling to better understand these thoughts, emotions, but also just to be more mindful of them. Right? We don't want to run away from these thoughts. So deep journaling helps us confront it, let go, learn from it, and then improve. So the first step to deep journaling is you're going to focus on one topic. So what are your thoughts on blank? For me would be, me not bulking. Try to go into as much detail as you can. If you get a thought write it down. Don't judge these thoughts. You're not writing this for your future self. You're not writing this for someone else. So whatever thought comes to mind, what, just write it out. Don't associate these thoughts with positive or negative emotions. Don't judge them. Write it out. And keep going until you can't write anymore. Normally, for me, this is about like 10 minutes. I try and put 10 minutes into this. And so it's like, what are my thoughts on me not bulking? Well, I understand it's a limiting belief, and deep down, I truly want to bulk, but my schedule is not always consistent. I'm not really serious in trying to bulk, so I don't put as much effort as I want to. And I know I have the time to bulk, and you'll just keep going deep into it. And so once you're done with that part, the second part is going to be, what is my 85-year-old self thoughts on this? I got this from Alex Hormozy, but this gets you into perspective of, my 85-year-old self would say, I wish I did bulk because I was able to know what my, true strength was, what my body would feel like at its peak condition. I wonder what I'd be like now if I had put the time and effort into, developing a strong, capable body and, going out and doing hobbies with that body. So like hiking, playing sports and whatnot. And as I'm writing this, I'm thinking my 85-year-old self is like in a log cabin in a rocking chair, being like, my younger self kind of overthought bulking. If you just stopped worrying about it and just really put the time and effort into doing it, it would actually work. Like, I like to believe that we have all the answers within ourselves. We just tend to either make a problem seem more serious than it is, or like try and run away from problems, try not to have too much change. So doing this will hopefully kind of counteract that. And then lastly, as you finish writing those, the last part is, what can I learn about myself or learn something that I can implement right now? So after reading both of these, I tend to find it from what my 85-year-old self said. Like I said earlier, like I was overthinking bulking, and I just simply needed to not be overwhelmed by the idea of it and just, put a little more effort in, eat a little more, and then see the results. I truly believe that these 3 journaling methods will really help you improve. Whether you've done journaling for years now or this is the first time you're hearing about journaling, I think it is a must, and it's one of the most basic habits that, I just truly value because of how much growth I have seen from it.